This is Christine, and you'll know the drill by now. We're about to wrap up Act 3 of Chronicles of the Gatekeeper in this season of Heroes of the Hydian Way. Send in your questions about the end of the season, our characters, and our experiences to heroes@thehydianway.com, or reach out to us on Discord. Now, with that out of the way, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of rebellion, dulled the Empire's edge, defeated Imperial generals and the Pirate Queen's dredge. They've been soldiers and scoundrels, what's there left to be? How about lost acolytes looking for their force and destiny? There's a seer, hermit, investigator, and teacher. Better watch your back or a vibrang's gonna reach you. Will this team find the light or will darkness win the day? Find out with the Heroes of the Hydian Way.
Previously on Heroes of the Hydian Way, Skip, Koba, Kesh, and Hillary were haunted by the repercussions of Soldier Ward's actions, and hunted by the power-hungry Inquisitor Carl. Tensions came to a head as the discussion with Ward fell apart, and Carl arrived to claim the Jedi's teachings for his own. The heroes were tired, but the heroes were angry. The heroes were not going down without a fight. Kesh faced off with Ward while Koba hurled himself at Carl. Skip, though wounded by Ward, harassed the Inquisitor from afar. At the center stood Hillary, hating the fight, but supporting his friends. What else could be done? Join the heroes this week as they divide to conquer.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Fantasy Flight Games' Force and Destiny system, using an adventure inspired by Chronicles of the Gatekeeper, as developed by Tim Cox and Max Brook. This is Act 3, Episode 18, and I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure.
I'm Kesh, the Trandoshan Mystic Seer, who currently has her lightsaber down on the ground, and a lightsaber duel. Doing good.
I'm Koba, the Doug Sentinel Investigator. I have both of my lightsabers. I don't know why you dropped yours on the ground.
I had a sudden jolt.
I'm Skip. The Galarian Seeker Hermit, and I'm missing some limbs. This is awkward.
Ugh.
At least it's cauterized.
I know. That doesn't really help much, though.
Fair enough. I'm Hillary, and I am really tired of all this, and I would like to go sit down and have a nice break with a biscuit and some calf.
Thankfully, you have a gift card.
I do. I probably also still have stale prepackaged stuff somewhere in a couch.
To learn more about our heroes, we get one to ask another a question, and it is now Kesh's turn.
Hey, Skip.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a little, recent and there's a lot going on, but I don't want you to get discouraged by recent events. So I was wondering, what kind of prosthetic leg do you think you'll want?
That's a really good question. It was a little soon to start thinking about that, but do you think that they can make prosthetic limbs with storage space?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's funny that you ask that. Actually, I feel like hidden compartments and things like that are pretty common in the mechno limb world. I didn't go for one of those myself. I was actually trying to get a cool grapple hand. That broke years and years ago. But there are plenty of bells and whistles we can make sure to get installed. Just need to get some credits together and we'll get you taken care of, or maybe we'll go back to Mon Cala, or we'll We'll figure something out.
I still want to be able to swim.
Sure, we can get
So-
it waterproof.
It has to be waterproof, yeah.
And we can web the foot.
That's perfect.
Our destiny pool for this session consists of 1 light side point and 3 dark side points. And then where we were in the initiative was about midway through a round where we had a PC slot, specifically Skip, followed by our 2 NPCs, and then we start a new round.
So the camera comes back to the action coming up over the rim of a side of the amphitheater that is built straight into a mesa of rock. Coming down in the stands, you see these ethereal, black, smoky beings that seem to be just riled up, limbs in the air, cheering on what's going on the sand floor of the arena. The camera then pulls in closer, and you can see the crashed wreckage of a TIE fighter that is strewn over a good quarter of the arena. In the exact center of the arena, you've got a black, shining throne that seems to be made out of some form of volcanic glass. Off closer to one side, on the far side of the TIE wreckage, you can see a triangle of our heroes. To one side, we've got Skip, who is laying down with one leg, having fallen to a lightsaber, just reviving after being taken down by another lightsaber strike. The camera pans over and we see Carl and Koba in a fierce lightsaber battle, probing each other for weaknesses. Further on in the same direction, we see Kesh with a lightsaber on the ground and Ward raising his with some determination. The camera then keeps on turning. There at the point of a triangle, you see a panting Hillary, who is just recovering from having sent off an entire wave of healing to the group. In the initiative turn, it comes around to Skip, who is just waking up after Hillary has healed them.
Skip's a little, disoriented, I suppose, from having just been reawoken. Kind of looks over and assesses the situation again. Actually, I have a question. When
Yep.
So when I fell and I would have dropped my lightsaber axe, do you have to be holding the button for it to engage? Like, if you fall over, does it just, like, poof out?
Most of them do.
Okay.
Like, there's a hand button or clasp on it so that it seems like anytime that any lightsaber gets thrown away, unless someone is specifically doing something like a saber throw, they've turned off.
Yeah, that was my thought. Okay, so the hilt would be, at their side, and they look at that briefly, and instead they're gonna pull out the carbine blaster. And I have a Atari striker, so I can re-poof my weapon. It's an incidental. Skip is going to take a look at Carl, take a look at Ward, and then aim at Carl and shoot.
So shooting at Carl would start at a 1 red on account of its short range, but increased or upgrade once because Koba's right there. Then the 3 adversary would bump it up to 2 red, 1 purple, and he has 1 defense. So it'd be the final difficulty would be 2 red, 1 purple, 1 setback. Yeah. No, it's Ward who's got the difficulty increasing.
Yeah.
Grid, not
All right.
doesn't be maimed. Also adds a setback.
Oh, shoot,
Yes.
You're right.
Only 1, unlike what I'd actually been thinking.
Isn't that just for things that would use that limb?
I thought it makes it impossible to use anything that doesn't use the limb and setback for everything else.
Yeah. So just to clarify, Skip's not getting back up. Skip is like on an elbow, leaning, aiming.
Absolutely.
All right. So Poof.
So
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Boost. Oh, gross.
Oh, my.
Well, I got one failure. 4 advantage. And the despair. You know what kind of like thematically makes sense? All of this sand, all of this chaos, I haven't like touched the gun since we got on this planet. Maybe like a bunch of sand got into the mechanisms and it just kind of like backfires in my face. Like the whole thing just kind of explodes a little bit. Oh no.
on the other hand, thankfully you miss, so it's just raw damage for a carbine.
Oh, good golly. That's 9 damage.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A raw failing despair gets Koba with a shot. So Carl and Koba are dancing around, and the timing's just wrong. Maybe a glut of sand comes up in the way and you shoot through, and instead of it being Carl, it's Koba that then has to.
Okay. Well, fortunately, lots of reflect, so suffer strain to reduce the damage. So that's 3 strain. I've got 3 rings to reflect, so that's damage down by 5 to 4. I've got 3 soak, so 1 wound. That's all.
Well, when Skip hits Koba instead, they are going to just sort of scream in despair. Aha, despair. And throw the carbine down into the sand, and that's the end of my turn.
You do have 4 advantage.
I have 4 advantage. I have no strain. I'm all good. Anyone have any thoughts on that? I super don't.
You did just fire into a melee, and while you did hit your comrade, you could maybe do something to Carl with the advantage.
I mean, that is a huge amount of advantage. Totally go with something like upgrade his difficulty on top of...
Yeah, because it may be something like the bolt coming in and Koba reflecting it, and it's that added thing entering the fight that might disorient him or throw him off for a moment.
I'll take that.
Essentially giving Koba, with his sense, the equivalent of Adversary 3. That's awesome. All right, so then we've got the 2 NPCs. Carl is going to try something. The primary thing that he is going to attempt to do is throw Hillary with move to push Hillary out to medium range instead of short range from him.
Okay, and I remember move when it's against something sapient, we get to resist.
Yes.
Does that mean it upgrades his check, or I get to roll something?
It means you roll against his discipline.
Oh, well, that's going to be awful.
It's a discipline to discipline check.
Yeah.
And it's even worse on account of, between the two, he's got the better
everything
discipline. Yeah. The difficulty for you would be 2 red and 3 purple.
Oh. Yuck. And I'm the one who has to roll?
He's initially trying to move you. If he's got enough dark side points, he will try and move other people.
Okay, so do I roll first, or does he roll first?
Let's see how many dark side points he gets.
Okay.
That seems like a reasonable thing. He's got 3 and 3, so he would need 1 within short range to another location within short range. So he would be doing 1 point to move Hillary, 1 point to move Hillary to medium range. So that would be 2 points. You'd have to spend 2 force points if he was willing to move someone else, or 3 actually. Because he spends 1 point to increase the number of objects he moves at a time by 2, but both of those would require a silhouette increase, which would cost a point each.
So yes, I'm rolling.
Okay, yes. And it would also be Skip and Kesh rolling.
Oh.
Oh, is he flipping to use those other points?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to say he's eating the 3 strain, as I'm not willing to... I think he needs 5 for it.
So this is a discipline check?
Yeah, it's a discipline check against 2 red and 3 purple.
Oh boy. Okay, I don't think I have any other way. I don't have any way to affect this. So I don't know what just happened.
You rolled and I rolled, and you did better than me, but not great.
Well, I have a triumph and a despair, and we both still failed.
Gosh darn
So I
it.
got a failure, 2 threat, a triumph, and despair.
I am totally betting on Skip. This is why I don't actually bet.
Okay.
He's only moving everyone to short range, so that does mean a coordination or athletics check would allow for you to reduce the effect of the move. He's still moving you, but you're able to roll with it, because otherwise he's essentially throwing everyone that isn't Koba short distance.
Is this harming us in any way?
Yes.
Okay.
This would be the equivalent of a short fall.
Okay. I'm definitely going to
So
make
if you
the
want
athletics
to, you
check
can use...
to try to
Yeah, you can use
minimize
an
this.
athletics or coordination check to reduce that by 1 range band of damage.
Okay, what is the difficulty?
I think it's an average check. I'm going with it's an average check.
2 successes, a threat. So actually, because it's I get to use force dice on athletics checks. I'm going to make it 2 successes and an advantage.
Okay.
Are the threats augmenting my roll in any way?
Yeah, I'm going to toss a setback on for both Skip and Hillary.
So average, 2 purple, and a setback?
Yes, 2 purple, 1 setback.
Okay, I don't take that setback because of conditioned.
Cool.
All right.
And you get your full force rating.
I have 3 success.
So the 3 of you are moved, but you are not injured by it.
Okay.
Just like Hillary sent off a dome of healing, Carl had his eyes just glow and then send off a wave following it, pushing Hillary, Kesh, and Skip out another range band, so everyone's at medium to him. Also disengage Kesh from Ward.
Also, it means Ward is now beside my lightsaber on the ground, where I am no means to. I'm completely unable to defend it.
Oh, golly.
So if he wants a bonus lightsaber, it's there.
Good point. I hadn't even thought of that.
I'm here to help, Ben.
Same team says what?
Says the one who cheers on despairs.
We've just gotten 2, and I've been very low key about it. Although Christine did get a triumph.
Yeah.
So
there was a triumph in there.
Maybe
that's
she
right.
didn't.
There was something beneficial.
Maybe she didn't lose her lightsaber.
That would be nice. So I don't think the triumph could put it back in my hand per se, but maybe the lightsaber, since it was sweeping up like my general area, that flew along with me.
It's still on the ground. You still have to do the stuff to get it, but it got thrown roughly the same distance, and now it's sticking out of the sand. Yeah, that totally would work.
Okay.
Dramatically, for that really cool camera angle that's really low, and it pans up off the sand, then you see the lightsaber, and then you see Kesh grab it.
Yeah.
It's
okay. It's okay, everybody. I still have a backup weapon if I have to.
So the sand toss didn't affect Ward at all.
No, it did not.
I'm picturing the power, there's that moment where they have the cool ripple effect from Hillary kind of pushing all of the energy out to them. It's still kind of lingering, and then there's a crackle around Carl as you see it ripple back, but faster, in sharper waves. And then we're all, and we all do that dramatic.
And 3 people do superhero landings.
Nah, I do a tumble and I pop up like the little acrobat that I am.
I don't have enough limbs to do superhero landing.
I guess, yeah. I was thinking, I forgot it was a leg, not an arm.
Now, you do a thing where you catch a rock and you hug yourself to it and you're upright. And you're just I am here.
Which then brings us to Ward, who is standing there with his lightsaber up. He's just recently been vampire healed by Carl, and he's looking at the way the entire fight is progressing. He sees Kesh, he sees Skip, as injured as Skip is, and he sees Hillary, and he just starts yelling of, this is what you are showing? You come to show me a different way, and you were trying to do this? Ripping someone out of the sky before they can even attack? Before they even have a chance to say what they are going to say? And you protect one who's trying to scour the bones of flesh. If this is what you're showing me that is of the light, I cannot see how that is much better than the dark.
You don't know anything. You haven't dealt with him before. Just been hiding.
If anybody else wants to chime in, I do have a reply, but I don't have to be the only one talking.
He still is leaving his blade on, but he isn't moving from where he is. He's a short distance from Koba and Kesh, but otherwise he's at medium range to Hillary and Skip.
Christine, did you have a reply for Ward?
I'm going to go with he's doing
Uh-oh.
the defensive stance.
The guarded stance or the feet?
That's it, the guarded stance.
Okay.
Just the standard thing you can do, the maneuver.
The standard maneuver thing that he can do,
Gotcha.
where he's not moving. His action was him yelling out, and he's just standing there with his lightsaber ready to take on any attack that tries.
What does guarded stance do? Is it an upgrade?
It's a setback, I think.
Okay.
It's a little thing, but it's very much showing like, hey, I'm ready to defend myself, but I'm not trying to harm you right now.
Yeah.
It also gives him a setback die in his next weapon attacks, I believe, which is why you don't see PCs using it an awful lot.
So it's kind of like stay on target for...
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is also using his center of being, just to make sure that everyone is aware that, he is still using his center of being talent.
I don't remember what that
So-
does.
It increases the number of advantages it takes to crit.
Yeah, by 2.
So he's just beefing himself up.
Yeah, he's there. He's protecting himself.
Yeah.
He's standing there. He's wanting to see what the rest of you are going to do with this.
How Kesh is going to reply is, says the man who came out of nowhere and chopped my friend's leg off. Not a very elegant reply, but it's how she would reply.
After your friend was trying to rip flesh from bone, even requested a helmet to be removed.
Yes, and you don't know the full history here. This is not the first time we have faced this foe. We let him get the drop on us before. We weren't going to let it happen again.
Kesh, it's not really worth it to argue with him. He's just old and deluded.
Okay, so we're at the start of a new round with a PC, then 2 NPCs, and then the 3 other PCs, and then our 2 NPCs again.
Because they are enhanced nemesis.
Yes.
Nemesis? Whatever.
Nemesis?
I don't want to go first because I want to see if Ward's going to continue holding his position or not. Because Cash was engaged with him before. When she and Koba talked earlier, she was on him. She wants to wait and see what he's going to do next.
Koba, you want to kick some butt?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm just gonna keep lightsaber. Actually, Koba's action is just going to be to commit his second force die to the offensive version of sense.
Okay.
So all of his force dice are committed. He's got 2 upgrades to both attack and defense,
That is quite gnarly.
and that is his action.
So we might as well deal with Carl, since Carl is pretty easy. Carl is attacking.
Okay. With a lightsaber, I take it?
Yeah, he is doing his lightsaber attack on Koba.
I'd like to go ahead. Actually, I'm on medium range from Koba now?
Yes.
Mhm.
Let me double check this before I commit to this. Because I think the range cost, yep. I'm going to spend a destiny point to use Protect as an out of turn incidental. I can do once per session. And I'll
Okay.
see if I can affect Koba. Because I fortunately have range 2 on it, so it's possible, even if it's Bit of a tall order. Because I can't flip again. Okay, 2 successes, 3 advantages, a triumph, 2 light side pips, and actually should be 3 dark side pips because of the Virgins.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't use the dark side because I can't flip, so I can't do... I can activate it at least, but I guess I'll have to activate it on myself because I can't reach anybody else. So I tried.
Good effort.
What's the net effect?
So the net effect on this is I'll reduce the next energy attack against me till, I guess, the end of my next turn by 6, and I'll have 3 defense more until then, is what will happen, and I don't know what the triumph does. So I guess I'll go ahead and give myself an upgrade to what I try to do next. As she's trying to draw on the force, and she can't draw on the dark side, so she's just drawing in on the light right now. That shield starts to appear around her, even though she really wanted to put it on Koba in this moment, and she's feeling a little bit better for the moment.
So with the upgrade that Carl has against Koba, plus Koba's force abilities, he's got 3 upgrades on his attack.
Wow.
For the difficulty on him. The question I've got is, how much defense does Koba have?
1.
Go ahead and throw 2 more setback dice in there. I'll go ahead and use Sense Advantage. Please help out in some way.
Since this is just a straight skill attack, I will be using a dark side point on it.
Oh my goodness.
Huh. So, rolling 4 yellow, a boost because he's aiming, which does nothing, against 2 red, a purple, and 3 setback, gets him a grand total of 3 success and 1 threat, which does a grand total of 9 damage.
All right. Parry
Reach 1.
4 of that, and take the other 5.
Is there anything in particular that we want to do with the threat, or just strain?
Can we give him a setback with 1?
No, I don't think so. Setbacks usually cost 2.
And strain is a pretty valuable commodity in this, right?
I'm fine with a strain, because the less strain he has, the less he can parry.
That makes great sense. All right, so that is Carl out of the way. Parrying and whatnot, he's able to sneak in and get a hit on Koba again. It injures Koba, but not critically. Ward sees a fight going on between Koba and Carl. He's seeing that Koba is readying for an onslaught. And what he's doing is walking towards Hillary. He isn't running. He isn't trying to get to be engaged with Hillary. He is moving in Hillary's direction. Lightsaber still on, still at a raised guard pose. He's looking at Hillary. When I hear about the destruction of knowledge, the destruction of the Force, and apparently a willful misunderstanding of what I did and what I've tried. When I went into seclusion, the darkness was falling on the galaxy. Now it is time for the darkness to retreat. And I can see that this person brings the darkness with him. But I'm not certain that the 4 of you are bringing light as well. When he was saying person, he did a broad sweep with his unengaged hand towards Carl.
We didn't ask to be sent on this grand adventure. We came to this adventure because we came across a crashed ship with a slaughtered crew. There were... I don't remember how many, but I know for a fact that they were killed for your knowledge that you abandoned. They were killed indirectly by that man for your knowledge. So we took this quest to try and understand what was going on. We don't know what the Force is. We don't understand this. I am an entertainer. Skip wanders. Kesh is a fighter, and Koba does Koba things. He's like a investigator. I don't really understand it. But we were thrown into this grand scheme and grand battle completely unprepared because we were trying to do the right thing. And we have been almost murdered, and we have tried to save people, and we have failed and succeeded on different levels, and we were trying to help, in a way, clean up your mess, because you left for seclusion, but you didn't do anything about it. We don't know anything other than he tried to kill us many times. And yes, I do question Skip's decisions, but we can't just let him kill us when he's... We can't just let him kill us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't understand your grand scales and checks and balances and the Force, but I literally do backflips for a living. Okay? So don't lecture me on my willful misunderstanding of you planting your knowledge in the wild and then leaving it. And then running to a planet that is consumed by darkness. I'm not sure what I can willfully misunderstand about that portion. But I'm sorry if that is what you're getting. So yes, we have darkness. We've brought it with us. We have fears, we have concerns, and we don't know what we're doing. But we're trying to do something. So, do what you want. I don't care. We'll just do our best.
That does feel like that should be a roll from Hillary. Not entirely certain which skill that should be, though.
I mean, I would say
Smack
charm
down.
more than negotiation, because I'm not trying to achieve anything. I'm trying to kind of bring him around to my side of the understanding.
My balance was either charm or leadership. So
Yeah, leadership would be
That's what I
my
was
vote.
thinking of too.
Leadership?
I would not say no to charm either. I would just be less.
That's fine. I forget that leadership's a thing. I'll be honest.
Nice Price has the same base as charm. It's also presence.
Yeah, leadership is what's generally used for bringing people around to your way of thinking on things.
Fair enough. Be nicer if it was charm just because I have 3 ranks in it, but I'll take it.
Okay, from what you just said, and also from the pre-fight stuff from 2 episodes ago now? 2.5?
Sure.
I'm going to give you 2 upgrades from that.
Nice.
So maybe not quite as good as your charm, but on the other hand, I'm going with that should be against his discipline.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, which would be 3 red and a purple.
Okay. 3 red, 1 purple?
3 red, 1 purple, yes. I'm not seeing anything else about him being harder otherwise.
Yep. Awesome. That's a fail and 2 threat. The do what you want was probably a bit much.
That does sort of seem like where it would be, pushing it a little far.
But I'm kind of tired.
It's very apt. I'm just going on, of all things, this roll is very apt. 2 threat. I'm going to go with, as you just said, Hillary is just really tired, so is getting 2 strain off of it. It's starting to show through.
He's looking decidedly slouchy, like he did that thing where you're trying to explain a point, you're talking with your hands, although he's doing it carefully because he should still have his lightsaber out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking with his hands carefully. But he does the whole, do what you want, and then he just kind of schlumps and does that dismissive hand wave, like, I'm not made to do this. I don't know what you want from us. Sorry.
So I think that'll bring us to 3 PC slots.
Yeah. I agree. So now we've got Kesh, Hillary, and Skip.
Skip, Hillary, is there anything in particular you 2 are eager to do? I'm going to take that.
I have a
as
notion, but...
I should go ahead and jump in and do what I'm going to do.
Well, the only thing I would do at this particular juncture is I would try to borrow... Thinking about seeing about borrowing Skip's altar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and trying to basically put Ward and I in a bubble.
I mean, that sounds interesting to me.
Absolutely sounds interesting to me.
Okay.
Probably a good idea, because Skip's so mad at him that Skip's just gonna try to rend the flesh from his bones, as he said, again.
Yeah, he is hung up on that, but it is kind of a gruesome thing.
It is in the Unlimited Power book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once per session, choose one talent of the Force power. So I'm rolling my Force dice, but I don't know how Skip's power works. How much would you say I need to create? It wouldn't be like, oh, basically I'm trying to section us off from the thing. So if we're going to have this conversation, or if he's going to take his rage out, I want to be Ward's focus.
So, are you trying to, like, swirl sand around you all, and then you are in, like, a bubble of air by yourself with sand swirling around you?
I mean, that's a lot cooler than what I was picturing. So yeah, let's do that.
Yes, what do you want the effect of the bubble to actually be? Do you want something that's just going to block line of sight, or are you trying to make physical barriers?
I was trying to force him to pay attention to me and get you guys to deal with Carl. So I was picturing literally like an igloo of dirt. But if I can achieve a similar thing by having having a vortex of sand around us so that we are still isolated, that would be fine.
I mean, the altar power doesn't specify like things like bubble of sand. It just tells you the mechanical effect. So like that's
okay. So yeah, a barrier because
So the barrier would be is I've been reading it as my third line control as 2 points to make a patch of terrain impassable, which you know I take to be wall.
+1 for the base active. That gets us 3 light side.
If you're not doing anything else fancy with it, then 3 points.
Yeah, no, that should work because I'm sure he could bust out of it one way or the other, but I'd like him to at least have to consider what's going on first.
Yeah, so this is pretty much you've borrowed from Skip and essentially stirred up a dust devil around you two.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is I'm going to look back at Skip and over to Kesh and say, help Koba. Keep him alive. And then kind of unnecessarily reach out towards Skip and kind of pull towards me. There's that slow almost swoop of sand as wind picks it up, and then it curls, and then suddenly it keeps curling around Ward and myself so that it builds up to a rather dramatic kind of tornado or dust devil appearance on the outside, and he and I are at the eye in the middle.
Is this sort of vampiric? Does that mean I don't have my force powers while you're using them?
No, I'm just borrowing your gift.
Okay.
So I'm taking something that I learned from you and I'm using it to look cool.
Okay.
But you still have access to all of your force and all of your gifts.
All right.
So that gets us to Kesh and Skip.
If you are going to fire again into melee, you may want to do that before I jump into melee.
I'm
so
not.
You'll have 2 people you could hit.
Because I don't have my lightsaber or my gun.
Do you not have your dart gun anymore?
Oh, I do have that. But I'm not gonna shoot, don't worry. But you should go.
It's going to be a maneuver to grab up my lightsaber?
Yes.
All right. Then with my second maneuver, I'm going to try to leap into the fray to close the distance to Carl. 4 light side pips and 2 dark side pips.
Wow.
So I'm just going to jump into engaged, and then I'm going to swing at Carl. I did have to take 2 strain for the extra maneuver. What's my difficulty?
Okay, so difficulty against Carl is he's got adversary 3, defense 1.
Okay, so red, purple setback. And then let me make sure I note down my strain. Upgrade, because of my failed but triumphant protect. And so that's going to be 4 yellow, my force dice versus 2 red, a purple, and a setback. Let's do this. So that's going to be, in the end, 4 successes, because I'm going to turn my 3 light side pips into successes for a total of 12 damage. I know the breach doesn't matter on this. No bells and whistles on this one. Yep.
He is taking another 3 strain.
Okay, to parry the blow.
To parry, he is parrying 6 of it.
Okay.
His soak is 5 Kratoses, and he parries 6. So, yes, you do get through and singe him.
All right, and that's what I got this turn. And my protect fades since I did a thing. Over to you, Skip.
Skip is notably annoyed that Ward has called them out on their flesh rending, and they're going to look at the fact that they can't really see Ward anymore, kind of huff, turn their attention to Carl, and start whipping up some sand. And there's just this little ping of, I don't know, guilt or something. And a flick of their wrist, they switch what they're doing to not be corrosive sand flicking action. Instead, they are just trying to maybe sort of make the sand a little gentler as it's whipping at Carl and just be distracting and make it difficult for Carl to do things. So I will be using the 5th row control to upgrade the difficulty of checks made by opponents while in the powers area of effect.
So you're also going to need the range on top.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. I am at medium range to Carl, so that means I need 5 total. 1 for the base, 2 for the control upgrade, and 2 for the range. So
that's my math too, yep.
I'm going to use that for light that I just rolled. I'm going to use 1 of the dark. And Skip is still, just propped up on their elbows, not trying to stand. Lord, making me be gentle.
Making you not fall to the dark side.
I mean, I still use a dark side
or
point.
Fall
to do it.
differently, I guess.
I mean, Skip still has by far the most since the last conflict check-in.
Yeah, they've been kind of rolling around in the dark side a bit.
Look, it's been difficult. There's been a lot.
I'm doing Carl first. Now, Carl is just in a giant fight at the moment. He is not really trying to get out of anything. He is just trying to deal with the people who are attacking, and he is attacking. No, he is just going to attack. With 2 people attacking him, yeah, this is a time he's going to pull a maul. He's got an Inquisitor lightsaber, so he is extending the second blade on it. He isn't going full Inquisitor and getting the spin saber going, because that's just much. But he is getting the second saber blade out and is attempting to cut in at Kesh.
All right. Do your worst.
No.
I have 4 melee defense. Look, if you don't like taunt the dice, what are you even doing?
He has 1 upgrade. It is a melee check. There are 4 setback because someone is a little silly.
I know you don't need to. I need to taunt the dice, Leslie. And then I fall out of starships. See?
Or get impaled, same diff.
It's fine.
And aren't we glad that his crit rating on his sabers too?
My goodness.
I'm gonna parry. I'll still get injured though. Don't worry. I only have parry.
Okay,
1.
so it is 9 damage.
Okay, before the parry.
Before the parry, yes.
Okay, so then it'll be 6. So I will take actually, I'll take all that because it's a lightsaber. Gotta remember soak doesn't matter in this. Yeah, I was about to subtract soak. I'm like, oh, I know. Why did I bother pairing? I'm fine. I remembered, oh yeah, I don't get soak. All right, I'm still standing though. If you do decide to crit me, I already have 1, so it'll be made at an extra plus 10%.
He can't crit. His crit is 2. Oh, we got
he has a triumph, though.
Triumph, yeah.
Damnation.
Yeah.
See, this is what I should have protected, but I'm a silly person.
Okay, there's that, and also, with the second blade out, he does have linked.
Oh.
That's pretty much the entire thing of him extending the second blade.
I mean, that's tactically the right call here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like critting, and we've been doing a lot of critting in this fight, I think that, yeah, linked is the better option, and it is a second round of damage for 9.
Okay, I'm going to parry again, which is going to keep me on my feet at exactly my wound threshold.
Ooch.
As 2 strikes is going to Kesh, and she is nowhere near as good at this dueling thing as Koba is. She's looking pretty bad.
Oh, and he's using the advantage to gain back his strain.
Okay.
Okay, and then that brings us to Ward in the Swirlingness of Doom. You talk of your journey. You have come here, and you have talked of grand ideals, of being able to leave here and have peace. Now, peace is very different to very many people. Being not bothered, being allowed to go about their way is one. But when someone has the power and the abilities that we do, finding true peace is very, very difficult. If there's even the barest twinkle of light within any, it is searched out by those such as your acquaintance and those like him. The only place that I have ever heard and ever seen being able to get a lick of peace is to hide and be as close to the opposite side as possible. Take the danger of being near that of the downfallen, the danger that it may corrupt you, as a possible respite so that I could try and center myself so that I would be useful. Useful to myself and useful to those around me. As much as I want control, I want it control so people don't have to worry. I want to be the shield in front, but that has led me astray so many times.
You're not wrong, as power and responsibility is a burden, but life is a burden, people are a burden, and peace to the elimination of the burdens within the world at large is it's not real. It's hiding, as you said. And being a shield is all well and good, but when you're just a shield and you're not integrated and working with the people you're trying to protect, it's easy to get distracted, to refocus, to forget what you're supposed to be doing. I tried to protect my family and I ran away from them. I mean, it's certainly not been all good. But it's a lesson I needed to learn. And I don't know anything, Ward. I really don't. Like I said, I'm an entertainer. I know some stories. But I've also come to realize that abandoning the responsibility in the name of being a shield isn't necessarily the right answer. Because I don't know that I get to go back to my family for all the jokes that we make of me introducing them. Not that you would know, obviously that's my jokes with them. But you know, I mean, I don't know anything, as I've said. But I feel maybe we're not so different in why we did some of the things we've done. And I can't make up your mind for you. I can listen. I'm not a fighter. They don't need me. But please, just stop trying to hurt my friends.
And what now? Moving forward with what we have is what we can, but what now? What concrete can we do now?
Find somebody to support. Don't stand in front of them, stand with them. If you still need to center yourself, there are safer places to do it. And take your silly box with you. It is dangerous without context. Wisdom is there, but unattended, it can be misused.
With all that discussion, I want to get another leadership check off of Hillary.
All right, I'm guessing I'm using my base stats. I don't have my double upgrade still.
I go with you. At least have an upgrade. Yeah.
No, because whatever I would have taken, I took charm, not leadership. It's just another roll. I'm going to start keeping a tiny table on my desk so I can flip it. Just saying that now.
Makes sense.
2 yellow, 1 green, 3 red, 1 purple, 1 fail, 2 advantage, and a despair. I don't know. Maybe I lose. Oh, Skip. Ren, how do I maintain this thing? Can I maintain this? Does it need to fall? How does that work?
After successfully activating, commit 1 force die to activating the power and it sustains it while the user remains within range of the affected area.
Right. Yes, thank you.
Which I'm also thinking would probably be useful for Skip as well. So what do you want to do with the 2 advantage?
Can I use the 2 advantage to make the despair not make him hate me?
Yeah, I can go with that.
The advantage is that he can see that I'm just as lost as he is. I'm not trying to guilt him. I'm not trying to tell him he should be ashamed. I'm just trying to give him a better path.
So I'm glad everybody's lost him. It's not just me.
Unfortunately, this despair means that I'm not really bringing him around, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I inhale some sand and I can't talk for the rest of the battle.
Can I hold on to that despair for a little bit?
Yep.
I've got something that actually should work out.
Well, it is your power, my love. And I don't end it next because that wasn't actually my turn.
Okay, so we're at the top of round 5, which has 1 PC. Then we get back to Carl and Ward.
Can I kill Carl?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to do it. Since I have a force die committed to the offensive version of Sense, I have 2 upgrades on my attacks. And I think I am... Yeah, I don't need the point for the force. I'm going to flip a point for a 3rd upgrade.
Cool.
Going to use 2 maneuvers to aim twice.
Cool.
So, all told, that brings me to, by my calculations, 5 yellows and a green and 2 boosts versus 2 reds, a purple, and a setback, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Now
Okay.
that is a roll.
That sure is.
Holy. Wow.
6 successes, 2 advantage, and 2 triumph.
Okay.
So how much damage are we looking at?
The base damage here is... So that's 12 damage. It has breach, of course, which I know doesn't matter, but, just in case anybody was curious. So 12 damage is the base.
12 damage still does get through.
And Carl doesn't have Center of Being like War does, right?
Correct. He does not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to crit with the advantage, but I am... I so seldom have 2 triumphs to use that I don't recall exactly what I can do. I know that there are things in the table that can only be done with 2 triumphs.
Yeah, I don't specifically recall
Are there things that can only be done with 2 triumphs?
Feel free to overrule this, Ben, but the book says that with 2 triumphs, I can destroy his lightsaber. Not damage it, but destroy it. It does say the crystal will be salvageable.
That totally works by me. Like, that absolutely makes sense.
As Carl ignites his lightsaber and switches to fighting both Kesh and Koba, Koba takes some time to draw on the Force and see the flow of the battle. Feel it, maybe. More like, in a flurry of blows. Basically forces Carl to block in a couple places and then slices his crossguard lightsaber right up across the middle of the Inquisitor saber Carl is holding, destroying the saber and catching a little bit of Carl along with it.
Okay.
So the 2 triumphs to destroy Carl's lightsaber.
Yep.
And the 2 advantage, since I did do a little bit of damage, I will use to crit.
All right.
Carl have any crits yet?
No, only Ward has a crit.
Okay. Crossguard saber is vicious 2, so it's going to be a plus 20 crit.
Okay.
Horrific injury.
Nice.
So I roll 1d100, and one of his characteristics is going to go down by a point until he gets this healed.
Cool.
I rolled a 54, which means it is his agility. I guess whatever little bit of Carl Koba caught, it's
His fingers.
I was going to go with it probably caught him in the leg or something in a way that maybe obviously didn't totally wreck the leg, but maybe severed a tendon or something inconvenient like that. So Carl's agility is now 1 lower until this injury is healed.
Okay.
That was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really awesome.
That worked out.
How much damage did you do?
I think only 1 got through, but 12 was how much the hit had.
On the other hand, his parry is no longer.
Yeah, he doesn't have a saber left to do anything with, so.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him not dangerous, but it does eliminate a lot of his options.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it means that he's actually gonna...
Yeah. Then Koba's going to make eye contact with Carl and then just twirl his guard shoto around his wrist for a moment, kind of a flourish.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates on Twitter at The Hydian Way, and you can find me, Ben, on Twitter at DeuteriumIce.
You can find me at 12th Night, that's 12th Night with a K.
And I'm at Ace Picorito, ACEPIKORITO.
I am ran out of time, because we have run out of time. No, I know the joke is not funny at all, ever.
Haven't you changed how your thing is spelled?
It's still run out of time,
I see.
Back to the Future. Because nobody got it. They were like, what does that mean, run out of time? It's you run out of time? Sigh.
Wait.
I'm not funny.
People didn't get that it was... Okay.
People didn't.
And I'm at Leslit GS because, very prosaically, I chose my first character to use as my handle.
We are all at thehydianway.com, where you can find previous episodes.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
We're also on Facebook as The Hydian Way, and you can holocom us at heroes@thehydianway.com.
If you like what we do and you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/thehydianway.
Or you can send the team some adhesive medical strips, because we're gonna need them, at ko-fi.com/thehydianway.
They probably won't work on Claren's skin.
It's space band-aids. I'm sure it'll work on anything we need it to.
Yeah, they just kind of slide off because of the sliminess.
That's not what I meant. I meant his frog skin is so thin, you can't.
It's okay. You
use
can find
regular-
stronger glue.
It's fine. We'll
It's
get
not
glue.
about strength. It's too strong.
We'll just
use like a light gauze.
we'll soak you
break my-
down with some antibiotic ointment, and then we'll wrap you.
Can I just have like a back to swimming pool?
I was about to suggest we fill a swimming pool with Bacta and trick Skip into going in it.
I think we could just get a paddle pool and say, "Hey, Skip, go sit."
That'll work.
I guess in this scenario, I'm imagining Skip is like a dog that doesn't want to take a bath and like won't go in Bacta if they know what it is.
I like how this time we've kind of created a blooper section, actually where the blooper section goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
D
I
to
gotta
D.
remember to actually put the blooper stuff before the bloopers in that case. Actually had people bringing that up when I don't. Anyway, I'm stopping the recording now.
I was curious about that. Is it really? Is it because we've recorded 2 weeks back to back that I'm messed up? Because I know I had one last time. I don't have one ready this time.
I'm just going by the numbers here.
Yep, which is my doing. So I was probably right, and I did not not prepared. I'm trying to think of something appropriate here given our current situation.
What color prosthetic does Skip want?
It feels like how do I put that as a? You know what? Sure, we can go into this. Oh, absolutely. I have a train coming through. Don't know how there's one on Korriban, but
Those repulsor trains. I mean, really.
they're just everywhere. Hang on a
Red
second.
pipes.
I just want to say I called it in the chat before Ren said anything. One with pockets.
Oh my gosh.
Skip has priorities,
I
and that
do.
is storage and collection. Sorry. I should not look at the chat while serious conversations are happening.
That is truly awesome. And honestly, I kind of want to end the episode on that.
That makes
That's
a lot
fair.
of sense.
That's
Oh, it
okay.
is that time, isn't it?
An hour and a
Okay.
half in, yeah.
Oh, looking at the time on there, and also that was just sheer awesome.
That was.
Yeah.
So,
That makes me feel better about everything that's happened this episode. Or hasn't.
I almost just hit stop recording.
Please don't.
Nope. We still have
I
to do
almost
an
had
I know.
to.
I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're done.
Out of practice.